It's time to go ahead and call this meeting to order. Begin with our pledge of allegiance. Pledge of allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Harrison.
Present.
Bradford.
Present.
Wolford. Nichols.
Here.
Lori Ward is going to be absent, which she's excused. Sanders.
Present.
Okay, we do have some more. And thank you all for those in attendance. Okay, at this time, we'll approve the minutes from the board meeting on May 24th, 2016. At this time, we need a motion and a second, please.
So moved.
Motion by trustee Pearson, second by trustee Bradford. Roll call, please.
Harrison.
Yes.
Bradford.
Yes.
Wolford.
Yes.
Nichols.
Yes.
Ware. Sanders.
Yes.
Minutes approved. Next, we have payroll and accounts payable.
I have a question on that.
Trustee Nichols.
I asked you last meeting about this lawn care stuff, paying these guys not getting invoices. They're always showing up on the paid invoices. We're not voting to pay these people. You got Brock, if you got 7,300 last cut, he's getting 8,400 this cut. Wolford's getting 63. You got pre-mayor at 14,507. Really? Then you got another one here. We got Jethro down here, another 14,000. Oh my God. We're not paying his money coming out of city land. Paying the companies not on the invoices.
Trustee Nichols, if you have any questions on that, feel free to give the person on tomorrow.
I asked them, I didn't get no answer, and nobody knows why it's not on invoices. The clerk's office is not putting on all the invoices.
Feel free to come. At this time, I'm going to ask for a motion and a second for approval, please.
So moved.
So moved by trustee Pearson. Second by trustee Sanders. Roll call, please.
Harrison.
Yes.
Bradford.
Yes.
Wolford.
Yes.
Nichols. Ware. Sanders.
Yes.
Approved. We have no unfinished business tonight. However, we do have a little bit of new business. For those of you who all do not know, recently our chief of police, Larry Purcell, decided to retire. Mr. Purcell served here in the village of Cahokia for over 25 years. And at this time, you know, we want to really thank Larry for his service here in the village of Cahokia, for a job well done, and we want to wish him well in his future endeavors. So at this time, I would like to give a round of applause for Mr. Larry. However, we do have a new one of Cahokia's finest stepping to the plate. Young man, you know what I mean? He's a young man that's going to step up and be the presiding chief of police pending board approval here. And I know that he'll do a great job. Mr. Dave Landon will be the new chief of police pending board approval. So at this time, and following the vote, I want to go ahead and swear him in as well. Also, he's not on the agenda, but assisting Mr. Landon will be Mr. Dennis Plouffe as the assistant chief of police as well. I know together these two gentlemen will do a fine job for the village of Cahokia. So at this time, I want to make a motion and a second for the approval of ordinance number 16-1328, an ordinance of the village of Cahokia, St. Clair County, Illinois, state of Illinois, approving the appointment of Dave Landman as the chief of police for the village of Cahokia. May I have a motion at this
I'll
time?
make the motion.
Motion by trustee Bradford, second. Second by trustee Pearson. Roll call.
Pearson,
Absolutely, yes.
Bradford,
Yes.
Wolford,
Yes.
Nichols,
Yes.
Ware, Sanders.
Yes.
Approved. Congratulations. Okay, Mr. Lemon, please repeat after me. I, David Lemon, do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States
Support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and that I will faithfully discharge
and that I will faithfully discharge
the duties of the Office of Chief of Police
the duties of the Office of Chief of Police
for the village of Cahokia to the best of my ability.
for the village of Cahokia to the best of my ability.
Congratulations, Chief Lemon. Mr. Blue? Okay. Please repeat after me. Yes, sir. I, Dennis Blue,
I, Dennis Blue,
do solemnly swear that I will support
solemnly swear that I will support
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and that I will faithfully discharge
and I will faithfully discharge
the duties of the office
the duties of the office
of Assistant Chief of Police
of Assistant Chief of Police
for the village of Cahokia to the best of my ability.
for the village of Cahokia to the best of my ability.
Congratulations, Assistant Chief. Once again, congratulations to those fine gentlemen. I know they will serve us well here in the village. Next, we have resolution number 16-1058, a resolution authorizing and approving the execution of the collective bargaining agreement between the village of Cahokia and the Illinois Fraternal Order of Police. Labor Council, on behalf of the FOP Lounge, number 216, and patrol officers and sergeants. Before we approve this, Attorney Scoggins, can you just kind of give us a brief on this?
Yes, Mayor. This is basically a result of, well, frankly, months of negotiating with the Fraternal Order of Police. And this applies to the what we call the certified unit, which is the patrol officers and the sergeants. It does not, we're still negotiating, and we'll probably come up next meeting for certification of the non-certified. Actually, we're not negotiating, we're reaching an agreement, but the non-certified will probably be presented for approval next week. So this is the police officers. It basically amounts to a 2% raise across the board, and some changes, some upward movement on the longevity scale. There are a few cosmetic changes in the probationary periods and things, but the things that most citizens would be interested in, a 2% raise for the police department, and a little bit of an increased incentive on the longevity schedule, which means if you stay longer, you get a little, not only do you get the percentage raise, you get a little bit of bonus for staying. It starts in like 10, 15, 20 years. So all those things are the new things in the contract. The union has already agreed to it, and we're going to pass it tonight. So, any questions from the board?
Yeah, I got one.
Yes.
We've got a lot of officers in here tonight. Is everybody agreeing with this contract, or are you guys happy with what you got?
Yes, I'm actually the head of the negotiation committee, and we sat down and had a good faith bargaining, had good cooperation from both sides, and a very good dialogue, and everybody is on board, and we have ratified it unanimously actually through our lodge, so we're more than happy with the outcome. And like I said, both sides worked together and came up with a compromise that we thought worked well for everyone, so we are happy with it.
Okay, good.
Okay. All right, thank you. At this time, we need a motion and a second for approval, please.
Motion.
Motion by trustee Sanders, second
Second.
by trustee Wolf. Roll call.
Pearson.
Yes.
Bradford.
Yes.
Wolford.
Yes.
Nichols.
Yes.
Ware. Sanders.
Yes.
Okay, resolution approved. Next, we have resolution, and before we get into these next resolutions, I'm basically going to give a quick synopsis on this, and also we have another gentleman that can give a little bit more insight. So we have resolutions number 16-1059, and then following that resolution, we have resolution number 16-1060. Both of these resolutions deal with TIF funding for businesses. One of the businesses will be Thrifty Hardware, and then the other businesses will be Unc's Bar and Grill. It's the owner, Unch's Bar and Grill from Mr. Randy Fisher. And so before we go for the motion on this here, I would like Mr. Keith Moran. Mr. Moran, are you here? Keith, could you go ahead and explain the TIF deal here on these two businesses?
Sure. Thank you, Mayor. And thanks again for having me. My name is Keith Moran with Moran Economic Development. I've been a long-time consultant with the Village of Cahokia on TIF-related and economic development-related matters. Some of you may have seen me here in the past. Basically, the Village of Cahokia has a long-standing program where you guys utilize the TIF program, and there are actually 6 total TIF districts in the Village of Cahokia. The main one being the Cahokia TIF number 1, where most of the businesses lie, where you have used the TIF program to recruit and retain businesses here locally. Typically what you're going to do is anybody that's interested in making a substantial investment in their building, in their land, in the community, you've extended either through a rebate of property taxes or a direct grant. You've extended TIF funds as an incentive for those folks to either A, come here, or B, to stay here. Past deals, and this is we're just now starting to move this program forward these days, but some past programs, the TIF has been helpful in recruiting Vanguard Trucking to the former Brockman space. It's also been instrumental in recruiting, and I know we've seen an awful lot of trucks go down to the river there, back and forth, but there's quite a few substantial buildings and companies that are here as a result of the Village of Cahokia's TIF program. We utilize this to help them make infrastructure improvements and improvements to their buildings. And there have been a variety of others, Kentucky Fried Chicken, a host of other folks that you've used the programs for over the years. These are no different. What you have before you and what the board has in their packets is sort of a recommendation and ultimately a resolution with an agreement attached to it. Basically, with Unch's Bar and Grill, right now we've got a vacant former Brandy's. It's fallen in mass disrepair. We've got Mr. Fisher Jr. doing predominantly most of the work. They're going to rehab it and reopening it for business. It's going to look a heck of a lot better than even it once did. And not only that, that's going to start contributing more sales tax revenue to the village, which we estimate to be about $10,000 a year, and some substantial property tax revenue to the village, because obviously that building is falling in disrepair. I don't know if it's easier if I just kind of float right into Thrifty Hardware, who've been here for many, many years. They're doing what their phase 1, as we've kind of talked. It's a small expansion of their existing hardware store. They've never sought out TIF funds in the past, and so there's a small $2,000 grant that they've requested for help with their parking lot and some rehab to that project there. I think this is something TIF-wise we'll continue to use. TIF funds can only be used for very specific purposes. They're not general fund monies. They're very much oriented towards infrastructure and business recruitment and attraction, and retention. So those are the finer points there. I don't know how much in detail you want me to get, but basically they've applied for funding. In our opinion, they meet the guidelines for funding, and we have a recommendation for the appropriate amount of funding based on their findings.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Moran. Is Mr. Fisher here this evening?
Yes.
Mr. Fisher, I want you to use this opportunity to, while we have a nice population of our residents here, to basically tell everyone about your business and what services you offer.
We started out to rehab this building. Of course, when we got into it, it was made to rehab that. So we have from the ground up, we replaced all the floor joists and floors. It's a handicap accessible now. We have bathrooms are handicapped. It's going to be a bigger kitchen, nicer inside. If you go in there now, you won't believe it. But we're going to serve breakfast in the morning, which you can't get a breakfast anywhere around here, except unless you want to go to Hardee's. But we're looking to open up at 5 in the morning for breakfast. We'll have lunch, and we'll have dinners. We'll have steak Saturdays. You can get ribeye, T-bone, porterhouse, whatever steaks you want. Fried fish on Saturday or Fridays. We're going to have fried chicken on Saturdays or Sundays. And in the kitchen, we're putting in a pressurized deep fryer like they have in Kentucky Fried Chicken, where you can just fry all the chicken you want. Basically, it's like 18 pounds of chicken in 14 minutes. So we'll be able to keep up to whoever, the people that we're going to have there. We're also going to have a beer garden in the back. It'll be fenced off. We're going to enlarge the parking lot, and we're going to employ about 18 people. So it'll be very nice.
Okay, well, Mr. Fisher, and I would also tell anyone that if you would still like to inquire, and I'm sure Mr. Fisher wouldn't have a problem with it, stop by. You can walk through the inside of it and check it out. I've been through myself, and I must say that I am very impressed with the work that they've done, basically knowing from what they started with. Okay? So at this time, we're going to go ahead and I'm going to ask for a motion and a second for resolution number 16-1059, resolution authorizing the execution of redevelopment agreement with Lunches Bar and Grill Restaurant. This time, I need a motion and a second.
I'll make a motion.
Motion by trustee Bradford, second. By trustee Wolford. Roll call, please.
Harrison,
Yes.
Bradford,
Yes.
Wolford,
Yes.
Nichols,
Yes.
Ware, Sanders,
Yes.
Okay, resolution approved. Congratulations. Next, we have resolution number 16-1060, a resolution authorizing the execution of redevelopment agreement with Thrifty Hardware and Home Center. At this time, may I have a motion and a second, please?
Motion.
Motion by trustee Sanders, second by
Second.
trustee Pearson. Roll call, please.
Harrison,
Yes.
Bradford,
Yes.
Wolford,
Yes.
Nichols,
Yes.
Sanders.
Yes.
Okay, resolution approved. Now, at this time, we're going to recognize some young people of our community that have done some extraordinary things in two aspects. The first group of individuals that I would like to recognize is our very own Cahokia High School track team. For those of you who don't know, who don't know, Cahokia High School track team is, for lack of a better word, one of the baddest in the world. They consecutive. Let me just start with the girls. The girls track team has won 3 state championship titles 3 times in a row, 3 times consecutive. Never been done before. And then you look at the boys. The boys have won 6 times. I have to quote LeBron James on this. Not 1, not 2, not 3, but 6 times they have won state in a row. That is a huge accomplishment. And so at this time, we're going to acknowledge our babies, because so many times the kids get a bad rap. You know, and when you look at the media and everything else that goes on so negative, but I think that it's time that we recognize our babies, because they are our children, for doing something positive. And And so at this time, I'm going to recognize, do we have the girls here, Coach Dow? Okay, at this time, I'm going to go ahead and recognize the girls track team. Okay, please, when you hear your name, Coach, you going to bring them all up?
Yeah.
Okay. When you hear your name, please come and accept your award. Now, please bear with me. If I kind of butcher your name, please don't hold it against me. I'm trying. First, we have Deja Shannon. Next, we have Jalen Allen. Kyra Buford. Orvashay Butler. Jayla Crosby. My girl, Mariah Hudson. Paris Jacobs. Rainisha Lewis. Sandra Spencer. LaQuasia Stephanie. Alasia Smith. We also would like to recognize the assistant coach, Mr. Greg Crockett. Also, head coach, Roscoe Dow. Great job. Next we have our six-time state championship boys track team. Okay, please come up when you hear your name. McKinley Bell. Rayvon Chambers. Krishan Crosby. Tyran Lyons. Chris McGee. Christian Raymond. Brandon Roberson. Keandre Wells. head coach, Leroy Millsap.
I'd like to thank the mayor, thank the board for recognizing our kids. Our kids work very, very hard, and it is very, very appreciative when they get recognized and get appreciated. And I just want to thank you, Mayor McCall and the board. Thank you very much.
I would also like to thank you guys. The one young lady, Renise Lewis, that you saw up here, is going to University of Nebraska. The board is on Mizzou, right? Signed University of Missouri. Anthony McRoberts is going to Illinois State. And Fine Club Officer. And Leo Stewart from Landscape shall be going to Judson University.
One last announcement, we got 3 kids on our track team in Sparkle trying to make it to the World Championships next Wednesday or Thursday. They leave Clovis, California to try to make the World Junior team. If they make that team, they'll be going to Poland. All expense paid trip, and get to be on the USA Junior National Team. Those 3 are Marty Ward, Anthony McRoberts, and Mariah Hudson.
Coach?
Thank you very much.
Okay, no problem. Thanks again, Coach. You guys really did a good job this year. Okay, next, I want to recognize just a few other people. As many of you are probably aware, we had a fire at one of our nursing homes out here in the village. And there were some heroic young men who were on the next street over, I believe that's St. Michael, and they rushed over to the nursing home and helped get some of those individuals out. And I just want to recognize them for their heroics today. But before I do that, I also want to recognize all of the first responders that day, whether from the Cahokia Police Department, the Cahokia Fire Department, also DuPo, St. Clair County, Herb Simmons, by state. It was just a collective effort that day to get those residents out of that building. And thank God no one, we had no loss of life that day. And so it was a great team effort. But I do want to recognize these young men. If you are here, please come up. Mr. Lee Brown. Lee Brown. Mr. DeMarcus Fleming. Mr. Kalen Fleming. Kalen, are you here? Mr. Keith Johnson. Keith. Mr. George Smith. George, are you here? Mr. Devin Vincent. And Miss Tanisha Johnson. Tanisha, are you here? Once again, ladies and gentlemen, These young men and lady all were at that fire that day at the nursing home. And they jumped into action, and instincts just took over, and they helped get some of those residents out of the nursing home. And we want to acknowledge and just say thank you for your efforts, because once again, we hear so much negative, there's some positive. And so we just want to say thank you. Also, I'll be remiss if I didn't acknowledge one more person. Mrs. Kim Deers, who lives near that area. Mrs. Deers went to the local McDonald's, and Mrs. Deers actually is a retiree from McDonald's for many, many years, and she went to the local McDonald's and made tons of sandwiches to provide for the first responders that day. And so, Mrs. Deers, I do want to say thank you as well. Trustee Nichols.
I come to your office and ask you to talk to you because litigation said, I come back and I had to go to Duncan's clerk's office, and you didn't come down and talk to me that day. And I asked you, nice to put Bob Sprague on the agenda for removal from his seat for the damage he's helped do with COVID. And you told me they wouldn't vote for it. But the thing about it,